To give up, you have to be dead, or completely incapacitated.
Reminders, son. Buy a thing for the cheese. The thing is called grater. Also buy some hygiene soap, and soap in general. This is some kind of diarrhea journal. Ha. So what is better than a Lamborghini? Agenda. Let's switch up. Since we are trying to get a job at the bank and be a little above broke, we should focus on analyzing bank IT infrastructure. So. Agenda. Bank IT infrastructure, ccna, net core, Python, acronyms, agronyms, DevOps, Git, Trader maybe, Cosmos maybe not today. So. Banking IT. Previously we figured that bank IT infrastructure contains of three groups: users, cloud, and enterprise. Also we could name them public network, provider cloud and enterprise network. User group and cloud group is connected via edge services. Enterprise group and cloud group connected via transformation and connectivity. Services? I guess. Now user group get their data through API management. And API get their data from CX aka user experience, digital agility services aka business microservices, and business automation aka intelligent banking workflows. So to dumb this down. What is API? API? APIs are mechanisms that enable two software components to communicate with each other using a set of definitions and protocols. For example, the Weather Bureau's software system contains daily weather data. The weather app on your phone talks to this system via APIs and shows you daily updates on your phone. API stands for Application Programming Interface. In the context of APIs, the word application refers to any software with a distinct function. Interface can be thought of as contract of service between two applications. This contract defines how the two communicate with each other using requests and responses. Their API documentation contains information on how developer are to structure those requests and responses. How does APIs work? API architecture is usually explained in terms of client and server. The application sending requests is called the client, and the application sending the response is called the server. So in the weather example, the Bureau's weather database is the server, and the mobile app is the client. There are 4 different ways that APIs can work depending on when and why they were created. So. First is SOAP APIs. SOAP APIs. These APIs use Simple Object Access Protocol. Client and server exchange message using XML. This is a less flexible API that was more popular in the past. Next way is RPC APIs. RPC APIs. These APIs are called remote procedure calls. The client completes a function, or procedure, on the server, and the server sends the output back to the client. Next. Third API. API called WebSocket APIs. These APIs is another modern web API development that uses JSON objects to pass data. A WebSocket API supports two-way communication between client apps and the server. The server can send callback messages to connected clients, making it more efficient than REST API. REST API that is. Now fourth API. REST API is the fourth way. These APIs are the most popular and flexible API is found on the web today. The client sends requests to the server as data. The server uses this client input to start internal functions and returns output data back to the client. So. Maybe we should take a look at these REST APIs in more detail, son? Maybe. So. What are the REST APIs? REST stands for Representational State Transfer. REST defines a set of functions like get, put, delete, and etc. that clients can use to access server data. Clients and server exchange data using HTTP. The main feature of REST API is statelessness. Statelessness means that servers do not save client data between requests. Client requests to the server are similar to URLs you type in your browser to visit a website. The response from the server is plain data, without the typical graphical rendering of a web page. Maybe that is enough for the dumb son like my son for today. Boom. And now CCNA. So IP addressing basics. TCP IP addressing. Address classes. There are no classes, but whatevs, let's do it for the shits and giggles. Every IP address belongs to a distinct address class. Nah, son. Fools. The internet community defined these classes to accommodate networks of various sizes. Nah, maybe back in the old days. Old folks. The class to which the IP address belongs initially determines the network ID and host ID portions of the address, along with the number of hosts that are supported on that network. Yeah, back in the day. The different class addresses are class A, B, C, D, E. Yeah, but did I said that this is old stuff? So class A first octet is 1 to 127, class B first octet is 128 to 191, and class C first octet is 192 to 223. Anyway, also subnet masks are class A 255 in the first octet, class B 255 in the first and second octet, and class C 255 in the first, second and third octets. Rest is 0. You got me, son, right? Some more irrelevant information. Class A hosts per network almost 17 million, class B is almost 66,000, and class C is 254 hosts per network. So. Also, do not forget the class D address. These are also not important. Old folks giggles. Class D addresses are, or should we say were, used for special types of applications on the network, like multicasting applications. Multicasting applications send data to a number of systems at the same time by sending data to the multicast address, DA, and any system that has registered with that address will receive the data. Because Class D addresses are used for multicast addresses, you will not be assigning them specifically to hosts on the network for normal network communication. Class D addresses have a value on the first octet that ranges from 224 to 239. It has the potential for almost 269 million unique multicast groups that users can subscribe to from a multicast application. And the last but very least, Class E address. The funny thing about Class E addressing is that they were designed for experimental purposes only, so you will never see a Class E address on a network. What is funny about that, son? You think this is funny, nerd? Ha ha. Class E addresses have a first octet with a value between 240 and 247. It is kind of guaranteed that you will encounter this bullshit with a classful addressing from the old folks, so be sure to know this nonsense to put them down gently. To their graves. Ha ha. Now programming languages section. ASP.NET Core and Python, maybe. APS.NET Core is a cross-platform, high-performance, open-source framework for building modern, cloud-enabled, internet-connected apps. With ASP.NET Core, you can build web apps and services, Internet of Things apps, and mobile backends. Also, you can use your favorite development tools on Windows, macOS, and Linux. Also, you can deploy to the cloud or on-premises, aka on-prem. Also, you can run on .NET Core. Okay. Fine. I guess that is it for the ASP.NET Core, and the rest would be me scripting. Damn, son. I should quite with these scripting languages maybe? Okay. Fine. Let's take 5. Pause. Day what? Day 5. CIFS, Common Internet File System. CNAME, canonical name. COS, Class of Service. CPU, Central Processing Unit. CRAM, MD, 5, Challenge Response Authentication Mechanism, Message Digest, 5. CRC, Cyclic Redundancy Checking. CSMA, See a Carrier Sense Multiple Access or Collision Avoidance. CSU, Channel Service Unit. CVE, Common Vulnerabilities and Exposures. CVW, Collaborative Virtual Workspace. Now Git. We have just talked about 4 different object types in Git, and now it's time to create the very first object in our repository, and we will create blob. That blob represents single file in structure, and for creation of new blob, we will use one of low-level commands, git --object. With the help of this command, you are able to create new Git object and write it into Git repository. After the creation of that object, we will be able to read information about it and its contents using git-cat-file command. Also, we will use another low-level command git mktree, one word. And with this command, we will be able to create new tree object. We will create new blob object and we get it. We will be able to create new object. But you might ask me why this command, named in such a strange way #object. Why here we see what hash. I'll give you answer to this question in the next lecture. To use this command, ensure that you are located in your project folder. If you open this folder by typing open and dot and pressing enter in your console, you will see only single hidden folder, no custom files or other folders. It is kind of does not work this git thing also. Let's end this right here for now. Sleep on it, now trader and but. Okay, let's continue with the money markets. Previously we talked about money markets instruments types. First type specifically, which was money market funds. Maybe. And now it's money market accounts. Money market accounts are a type of savings account. They pay interest, but some issuers offer account holders limited rights to occasionally withdraw money or write checks against the account. Withdrawals are limited by federal regulations. If they are exceeded, the bank promptly converts it to a checking account. Banks typically calculate interest on a money market account on a daily basis and make a monthly credit to the account. In general, money market accounts offer slightly higher interest rates than standard savings accounts. But the difference in rates between savings and money market accounts has narrowed considerably since the 2008 financial crisis. Average interest rate for money market accounts vary based on the amount deposited. As of August 2021, the best paying money market account with no minimum deposit offered 0.56% annualized interest. Funds in money market accounts are insured by the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, FDIC, at banks and the National Credit Union Administration, NCUA, in credit unions. But it might be only America, or maybe it is all the Western world. Maybe.